Pace car is off. Ryan Blaney starts from pole here in Watkins Glen. 2 races remain in the regular season, and it's going to come down to these final 2 races to determine one final playoff spot that could be really won on points now, as it's a little bit too far up for grabs for other drivers there. Alex Bowman, he actually goes sweeping around the outside of Ryan Blaney there. Stage is 10-10-25 here today from Watkins Glen, but Chase Briscoe is one of the drivers we watch for that last playoff spot on points, and Christopher Bell a little bit further ahead of him, pretty well locked in on points at this point, unless we have a new winner here today from Watkins Glen. Jay, we see Ryan Blaney there down the back straight. He loses that front position on this opening lap there, looking like that inside line down into turn 1 maybe going to be a bit of a disadvantage here today, as Chase Elliott goes a little bit wide through the bus stop.
First lap issues here through the bus stop for Chase Elliott, and that might have been Byron as well. I saw it going through the grass. A couple others in the background. Look like everybody makes it through for the most part okay, though. And there's the important guy to watch right there, Gary, that 14 car of Chase Briscoe. Right now, running pretty well in this race, and he needs to have a decent finish here to not allow Austin Dillon or I can't think of who the other bubble driver is, but either way, he doesn't want to let them pull in. He's got a 50-point advantage right now. He does not want to let, I believe it's Almirola and Austin Dillon, catch up to him here. So Chase Briscoe needs to have a good race and kind of break the chain of recent rough results. Gary, Ty Dillon almost actually goes crashing into the barrels right there, but Chase Briscoe's had a string of rough results lately. Put him in the position that he's in now, and he needs to cure that here today in Watkins Glen.
Trackhouse Racing right now, all bumper to bumper right here. You see KIMI RAIKKONEN making his NASCAR Cup Series debut here today in Watkins Glen, and that number 91, the 2007 Formula One World Champion, here in that number 91, which is a special project from this Trackhouse Racing team.
We've kind of had this typical thing, Gary, where we have the first 2 stages of a race, no matter what track it is, no matter what track type it is, usually pretty clean. We get to that 3rd stage and everything breaks loose. We have a ton of chaos, and somebody who was 10th earlier can wind up winning the race just because all the leaders in front of him crashed or weird strategy or whatever. So
you cannot rule out the regular season championship battle. Kevin Harvick is currently ahead by 3 points coming into today over Martin Truex Jr., and Martin Truex Jr. is just a few spots behind right there. But Jay, we know this is a battle here that's going to come down to every single stage in these remaining 2 races, right to the final lap in Daytona, I'm sure. And I mean, what if there's certainly a potential this regular season championship could be decided by a big one in Daytona next weekend. Number 6 RFK Ford Mustang of Brad Keselowski, and then following through is going to be Christopher Buescher as well, as we head down into that penultimate corner. Suarez nearly into the barrier right there, and look at that, Jay. We see both the cars on the long way around sweep on past the cars they're battling. Certainly some advantages there, being on the outside, it seems like, today at Watkins Glen in some of these corners for the time being. But it's Alex Bowman who comes down this front straightaway to win here in stage 1 over that number 12 of Ryan Blaney.
So Bowman is going to get out clear here and first, and Blaney's going to lose a
Wow.
little bit. Blaney's going to lose a lot. So is Larson. Larson's losing a ton here, I believe.
Bowman leading the way back to the green flag here from Watkins Glen. He takes off as soon as he gets out of that turn. You're going to see he leaves a couple drivers behind there in the background. Creates a little bit of separation towards the midfield, which also can create some stacking up, and you can see it in the background. Bowman's going to easily lead down into turn 1. We look a little bit further back where we see a bit of a mess happening here. Kurt Busch on the inside of Briscoe. Briscoe's going to sweep around the outside. Raikkonen gets past the 10 of Almirola as well here. I mean, Jay, these guys, they all got caught off guard. They're all clumped right together as we head through these S's.
Yeah, we actually see a lot more side by side than we saw to start the race, but they get it pretty much settled out now as they head to the S's. And right now, still, there's Kurt Busch actually might be holding this group up just a tiny bit right there with Austin Dillon right behind him. You know, Austin Dillon's going to be extremely desperate to try and gain any spots as possible here. He needs to catch and run down and pass Chase Briscoe. Same thing for Eric Almirola as well, but it's just not happening on this first opening lap of stage number 2, as there's KIMI RAIKKONEN as well. Best Trackhouse car currently in this race, Gary. Raikkonen showing out a little bit right now, but all these Trackhouse guys perhaps struggling a little bit more than we would expect them.
The 14 has a bit of a run there on the number 8 of Tyler Reddick here as they head down towards this penultimate corner. That 14, Jay, is getting the elbows out. What a move, what a pass. What? Unbelievable. Is there something wrong with the 8? Because that was an unbelievable pass around the outside.
That was unbelievable there from the 14 to Chase Briscoe, and then Byron immediately looks to the inside of the 8 car. There might be something wrong with Reddick here because Byron's making the move down to the turn 1. Now, this is the lane you do not want to be in for Byron, so this might hurt him more than help him, as we saw last time when he tried
there has to be something wrong.
Yeah, there has to be something going on with this 8 car. Austin Dillon's going to want to get past him, past his teammate as fast as he can here. He might do it up into the S's. He wants to try and keep connection. No, Reddick's not going to let him go. This is going to hurt Austin Dillon. His teammate is hurting his chances right now of making anything happen in this race towards his playoffs. Now he gets past him. But obviously, Gary, something is majorly wrong with this 8 car. Turn for the final time at stage number 2. It's going to be Alex Bowman winning this stage. And Chris Bell, I'm going Chris Bell instead of Christopher Bell. Like we're changing it up here. Is going to finish second. That's going to be really good for him in this point situation as well. Again, as long as there's no new winner, he should be locked into the playoffs after this race.
Alex Bowman leads the way into the pits, and he's going to bring Joey Logano with him. But Jay, look at that. Might be a little bit alarming. We are seeing everybody except for the top 2. Currently, there's some more cars in the background with Suarez and Keselowski and Bubba Wallace, but this is not what you expect to see. Ready to go green for stage 3. It's going to be led by Chris Bell as he is going to lead the way down this front straightaway. Great takeaway actually there from that number 20 DeWalt Toyota now as he heads down into turn 1. Martin Truex Jr. already trying to take a look to the inside of Kyle Busch in the background there. Maybe get alongside. Oh, Harvick with a bit of a slow up right there, and that's going to slow both of them down. Jay and Elliott now up into 3rd place.
And that puts him right there with Martin Truex Jr. He's only 1 spot ahead of him now, Gary. These two both of them know all these positions are crucial, and that might allow Truex to have a sniff at Harvick here if he wants to try and get past him in this final stage and gain some of those points he lost in the first 2 stages back. We look back here in the background. Here's some of the guys who pitted, and there's the 45 of Kurt Busch. I can't tell if that was him going around or staying ahead of Alex Bowman right there. I think that was going around Alex Bowman. So Bowman, who has dominated this race to this point, Gary, he pitted.
Oh, Harvick now to the outside of that number 9 of Elliott.
Yeah, just make Christopher Bell one of the new winners. And that's Steve Blaney also looking for a move to the inside of Christopher Bell. So we're going to be side by side for 1st and 3rd place as we head down into this first corner on the track. And Blaney is actually, I thought he was going to get in front of the 20 there. Oh, Chase Elliott spins.
Elliott gets turned by the 4 of Harvick. No caution. Austin Dillon had probably, Harvick.
Off of the grass.
That's Harvick. Kevin Harvick's wide. Into the grass he goes after turning Chase Elliott. These two have a history, of course, spanning back to last year. In real life, he's going to rejoin. The one thing that saves Harvick, though, currently in this situation, is he did pick up more stage points than Truex in both stage 1 and 2. But obviously, Harvick, right now, from the looks of it, if they finish where they are, I think it's going to be, honestly, it might be dead even, or Truex might have a slight advantage going into Daytona. Kimi Raikkonen in his NASCAR Cup Series debut inside the top 10 here behind that number 3, Tyler Reddick. And these are the guys we know. 1 stop, and there it is, Jay. There's our answer. Everybody's coming to the pit lane. Everybody. This is not what you want, though, Jay. I mean, this is going to clog things up for these guys that already pitted. When they come in, it's going to be a lot more spread out, and they won't have to worry about slamming on the brakes.
And you see Christopher Bell right there actually might lose the lead to Blaney. He will lose the lead to Ryan Blaney, but obviously that's also got something to do with the tire wear. The tires, maybe?
I might have. He's going to easily beat those guys. Oh, no, you're right. Yes, and look how far behind they are as they got some ground to make up, and Bowman's going to get out in front of that number 6 of Keselowski as well. But Jay, I mean, you look at the gap right here. I mean, if these guys make it on field, there's no chance for these guys right here to do anything in terms of racing for a victory today now. Greg Biffle, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. going to come together. Stenhouse sends one into the penultimate corner right there, punts the 44, sends him spinning into the gravel. Biffle, stuck in the gravel, has brought out the caution here from Watkins Glen. Ryan Blaney set to lead the way to what could be the final restart of the day here from Watkins Glen. We're back underway already. You can see a little bit of separation there further in the back now as Blaney is going to be in control down towards turn 1 over that number 20 and 19, the Joe Gibbs Racing duo. They're all going to stay in line actually behind that number 12, Jay. So very calm there into the corner, but you see a little bit of scrapping here a little bit further down the order, but not too much. Everyone kind of remaining pretty civil here into this first and opening corner.
This is kind of odd for a late race caution, a NASCAR to road course. Everybody kind of being civil. I thought we saw a lot of too wide heading into the turn number 1, but they all, for the most part, got it settled out. And nobody, again, did anything right there. So it's all easy going right now for Ryan Blaney up towards the front. No true pressure from behind from Chris Bell. Last year on the final lap, we had that crazy chaos happen right at the end of the race with Brad Keselowski dumping back to Benedetto. Benedetto went flipping. So the final lap, or a couple last laps in last year's race. So it's not over, especially with this 20. Now, catching Ryan Blaney a little bit, he has put more pressure on now than he did a lap or so ago. So these two are closer than they were before, and they're still pulling out a little bit on Truex. So it's really going to come down between the 12 and the 20 to end this race. As we look back here in the background, there's still a little bit of side-by-side going on, but not much at all, Gary. There's really hardly any passing going on here. It's been pretty hard to pass so far here today in Watkins Glen.
Uncharacteristic NASCAR road course day here, and it doesn't look like there's anything for Ryan Blaney at this point now from that 20 of Christopher Bell, who seems to be too scared to try anything now because he knows if he finishes right here, he's golden in terms of the playoff situation. So maybe not even trying to win this race and risk anything. Ryan Blaney leads away through this carousel here, and I mean, doing the unexpected Blaney road course win. And usually when Ryan Blaney's in the lead in these situations, he usually finds a way to choke. But however, doesn't look like that's going to be the case here today. Through the penultimate corner, Christopher Bell chases, but it's not going to be enough unless a big mistake in this final turn from Blaney, which is not going to happen. Out of the final turn, Ryan Blaney is going to come through to pick up the win from Watkins Glen over Christopher Bell. Martin Truex Jr. with a third place finish, huge for his regular season championship as Harvick is in the mid-teens. Kimi Raikkonen in his NASCAR Cup Series debut going to come home for P10, a top 10 finish for Raikkonen, the Formula One world champ from 2007, and an overall just calm, clean day here. The only one that was really a victim to anything, Jay, was that number 9 of Chase Elliott here today. The only driver that ended up really crashing other than Greg Biffle, and unfortunate for him, he got dumped by Harvick while having a chance to win this race here now. So Elliott certainly can't be thrilled with what happened there, but overall, what a just great race there, driven by that 12 of Ryan Blaney to command this field throughout this final stage.